some of the absolute best clinicians that I've ever worked with, that I adore and I just think are magic, and I would let them look after my family members, they have failed the exam. Hello Dr. Humans! Today I wanted to talk about failing the clinical exam. And the reason that I want to talk about this is because I think there are lots of misconceptions out there where this is concerned, and those misconceptions can be very harmful, they can cause a lot of pain, and they can cause a real uphill battle when it comes to resitting this exam. So, I wanted to set the record straight where this is concerned, and whilst this video does represent my opinion, I know that in reality this opinion is shared by many of my consultant colleagues. It's pretty much universal, I would say. So just to give you an example, there have been many occasions where we have actually had someone picked out for advanced training at our hospital. We've picked them out for the advanced training position, it's all been locked in, we've been really excited about it, we're good to go. And then we find out that that person failed the exam. And of course that's disappointing for them, right? They failed, but it's similarly disappointing for us because we wanted that person and we still want that person, right? If we wanted to hire you then, we wanted to hire you now, right? It doesn't actually change. No one is thinking, oh, well that must mean they're not a good trainee. Oh, we shouldn't hire them. Oh. No one is thinking that, okay? So I just want you to know that that is not what we're thinking. Because anyone who's actually sat this exam, i.e. all of your consultants and all of the people who are going to give you jobs, they know that sitting this exam is a living nightmare, right? Unless they're one of those unicorn people who seem to just love the clinical exam, you know, they do exist, but they're quite rare, then the chances are that your consultants are going to empathise with this situation, and they're going to know that at the end of the day, it's just an exam, it doesn't actually mean anything about you or your abilities, and so you're sitting there worried about how this affects you, how it makes you look, what people are thinking about you, and honestly, no one is thinking anything about you. They're thinking, it's a shame that you failed your exam, and they will be waiting for you the next year, right? They want to hire you. That doesn't change, okay? So get that out of your head. And truly that has been my lived experience. So some of the absolute best clinicians that I've ever worked with, that I adore and I just think are magic, and I would let them look after my family members, they have failed the exam. And in my course that I run, I hire advanced trainees to coach the students enrolled in my course, right, in Rock Your Long Case. And on that team of people who I have selected to represent me and my brand in a long case course, some of them did not pass first time. And that doesn't matter because they are excellent, right? They have all passed the exam now, and they rose to that challenge, and in some circumstances the fact that they failed the exam the first time gives them an edge, right? It makes them even better at coaching you because now they know the recipe and they know it like the back of their hand, and this exam is all about the recipe. I really want you to internalize that. Whether you're sitting this exam for the first or second time, it's important that you can disconnect yourself and your abilities and your ambitions from this exam. Of course, the exam is necessary, it's a hurdle that you have to get over, but aside from that, it's pretty meaningless for your bigger picture, right? It doesn't actually define you, and having failed the exam is not something that's going to follow you around for the rest of your career. It's a no one cares blip. Like, once you've passed, that's it, that's enough. Like, no one's going to ask what happened the year before, right? No one actually cares. But if you are sitting this exam and you're getting in your head about it and you're telling yourself wee stories about how if you fail this exam, or if perhaps you've already failed the exam, that somehow means something, that maybe you're not as good, maybe you're not as deserving, you're behind, you're lacking confidence, right? If you let that be your narrative and you lean into that belief, you could do all the preparation in the world and you could still come across as lacking confidence and not ready for the next stage. Not because of your abilities, but because of how you're coming across, because you're in your head, right? So it's very important that you're consciously aware of that and you don't let it sabotage you. And what I'm finding as I do long cases with candidates this year, a few of whom have failed last year, there's often something that they can improve on, and it's usually about the show. It's usually not about the medicine itself, it's the show. It's putting all the medicine together in a little package and sounding good, right? So you can be an excellent doctor on the ward, but in an exam situation, you might not be communicating your thoughts in a way that the examiner interprets as good enough, right? How you articulate yourself and carry yourself is key. And if you are sitting this exam in your second language, then ultimately that is going to be a lot harder, without a doubt. And what I've been noticing is that when I'm sitting down with people who are sitting this exam in their second language, that is definitely a theme that's coming up. So just the very nature of the words they're using, the tone in their voice, the lack of conviction in their voice, that is received loudly by the examiner. So the words themselves are there, but it's the tone and the way the words are being put across that is also being received like a language in and of itself, right? So in order to do well in this exam, you want to be expressing yourself in a way that installs confidence in the listener. It's about the show. Okay, there's the medicine that has to be good too, but there's also the show. Another key piece here in all of this is finding someone to give you useful feedback when you're practicing for your long case. Because another thing that I'm noticing as I'm sitting down with candidates and I'm having thoughts about how they can improve, they usually tell me that they've recently presented to someone and they're told, "You're fine, keep going, keep practicing, a bit more practice." And what that says to me is that feedback is hard to give, and investing in people takes time and energy, and perhaps it's easier sometimes to just say, "That's fine, keep practicing," as opposed to what really needs to be said, which is constructive feedback that's actually going to change that person's game. What you need is someone who gives you something to work on and follows up with you and makes sure that you're on track. So what I'm saying here is for everyone, but especially if you're sitting this exam for the second time or you're sitting it in your second language, I want you to find someone who has passed the exam and who has your best intentions at heart and get them to give you feedback. But you need someone who can hold space for you, who can see your potential and draw that out of you. When someone has your best intentions at heart, they're going to feel more comfortable giving you negative feedback or constructive feedback. And it's a safe space because you know and they know that we're trying to achieve a common goal here, that anything they say to you is with love and with the best intentions, right? So you're more likely to receive that, take it on board and move forward with it. And this is true for so many things in life. I actually took vocal coaching a few years ago, right, to help me with singing. And it's kind of the same thing. So you can know what the notes are in theory, and then you can try and sing the notes and you can go off track, right? And it's very hard to know what you're doing wrong sometimes, or how to actually improve, how to right that wrong, right? How to change what's happening. And so in that sense, you really do need a coach, right? To sort of analyze things, have a look at you, see what your blind spots are, and come up with a suggestion on how you might improve. And it's amazing how someone on the outside who has those best intentions at heart and knows what you're capable of can get that out of you, right? It's like that scene in Sister Act when she just makes that big note. It's exactly like that, right? That's how I view these long cases. It's about getting that sound, that physicianly sound out of someone. That's what it's about. What a great film Sister Act is. I must watch that again soon. That was a little bit of a rant, wasn't it? I was quite passionate about that. To summarise, this exam does not define you, but it can for sure sabotage your confidence. So try not to get in your head about it and find that person, find your coach and accelerate your success. And of course, if you would like a little bit more help with your long cases, I have a whole program dedicated to this. In this program, I teach you everything you need for long case confidence, how to take the history ninja style, how to think and sound like a physician so you can shine on exam day. We also provide lots of on-demand content where we're sitting down with experts and asking them questions about what they actually do in their clinical practice. And then we take all of that information and we use it in our long cases. It is gold. And some of the topics we cover include CKD dialysis, transplantation, all the types of transplantations, so renal, lung, bone marrow, heart transplant, and on top of that, lots of lessons dedicated to rheumatology, all of those gen med topics like diabetes, obesity, peri-op med, chronic pain, osteoporosis, heart failure, depression, adherence, behaviour change, and so much more. I nearly ran out of breath there. So if that sounds like something you need in your life, then click the link below and head over and join us for Rock Your Long Case. And otherwise, stay tuned here on YouTube for more long case lessons. I'll see you soon. Bye.